Dr. Angela McBrady of DoctorFlute.com. Today's flute tip is on producing a lively sound. A lively sound is what's going to make people stand up and take notice about your flute sound. If your tone is not lively, doesn't have that element in it that makes it bounce and be alive and turn heads because people want to know who's got that sound, then it's generally just a nice sound. And if we can have a phenomenal sound, then why do we want to have just a nice sound? There are plenty of nice sounds out there, but there's not as many really phenomenal, lively sounds. Now, when I say a lively sound, I mean something that's within that sound that's going to make it come to life, not be flat and dull. And by flat, I'm not meaning lower in pitch, but I just mean just nothing. You know, it's what my younger kids do before they learn a little bit more. One of the things that makes your tone have some liveliness is vibrato. So that's one of the first things you learn. But even so, a tone that's fine. That's going to make my tone be alive and not just be flat if I'm playing a slow piece. But what about if I'm playing a really fast piece and I don't have time to put vibrato on? What then? Well, this is where sopranos would call spin. They have spin on their sounds. I want to borrow that soprano term of spin and apply it to flute because I think it's more depictive of what we're trying to do in our flute sound. So let me give you an example of a non-lively sound, and then I'm going to put some spin on it and show you the difference. Okay, that comes from Erica Wazen's Sonata No. 2. Now, let me put some liveliness on it, or what I want to call it, spin. Now, I think that you can hear the difference between those two. I tried to keep the volume the same, I tried to keep the tempo the same, but one, I put spin on the notes, and the other one was just my tone and nothing else added. Now, Nina Perlov calls this pop, putting pop on your tone. And if you like that term, use the term pop because it makes your tone pop out, right? And people will see it and hear it and think it sounds phenomenal. But this is what makes your tone alive. Now, what is it in the end? Or if we boil it down, what is this spin? Well, I'd like to say it's really just a fast vibrato. It's a fast vibrato that you can do on these tiny, short notes. Here's a C. Okay, I just played it with my tone, nothing added. Okay, now let me hold it and put vibrato on. Okay, that's fine, and that's what I'm going to do if I have a long, slow piece. But here, this is the quarter note equals 168. This beginning C and F, the first two notes, are quarter notes. So 168, pretty fast. And I don't have time to do, right? That's my vibrato. By the time I got that vibrato going, I'm a measure past where it needs to be. So I can't use vibrato, but I can use spin. And spin is taking the note and doing a fast vibrato. Okay, that is spin. All of a sudden the note becomes alive. It's really cool. Now, the best place where I really learned to put spin on is using Moise's De La Sonorite, the exercise called short tones. And I have a video on how to work on short tones for this very thing. But it is always different doing it in an exercise and then putting it in a piece of music. So it's well worth your time practicing that Moise exercise and then coming over to your piece of music, whatever you're working on. This instance, it's the Oazen Sonata No. 2, and working on it. Now, I don't have to play it at quarter note equals 168 in order to work on spin. I can play it slowly, but I have to make sure that the note is still as short as it's going to be. So if I want to play it, all right, dum, dum, dum. I'm going to play that first C, that with that spin and that short. Make sure you're keeping this open when you're doing it. In this C, I have a little bit more upper lip over bottom, just a little bit. They are still going down a little bit here, because I need to keep it open so that that sound can come out. Now I'll move to the F. Now on the triplets that follow, they're really too short to put anything on it, but the liveliness is still there, even though they're too fast for you to actually hear it, because I think of it like a vibrato. It's the old organs that had the stops with their electric, and so once you turn it on and you fix that vibrato, the wind is always going, and you plunk down an organ key and it does the vibrato. I feel like that's with me. Once I put the flute up, that vibrato switch is flipped and it is going all the time. Now, that's the same thing with the spin. Whether it's vibrato or spin, that switch is flipped. It's on. So as soon as I got off that triplet and got to the next note, which is a D, I had that spin. It doesn't stop. This will make your pieces of music that you play just rise to the next level. Your playing goes from amateur to professional in one fell swoop. Putting this liveliness on your tone, using it to make your tone send out to the audience is a game changer in your performance. Work on this. Take your Moise exercise, go to your short tones, work on that, find where your spin is, and start putting it on your short tones in your piece. It makes your piece rise to the next level of professionalism. And I guarantee that will do the same for you. So work on short tones, put a fast vibrato on. That's what I call it. It's a fast vibrato, but the easier word to say is spin. Spin your notes. That's today's flute tip. If you like today's flute tip, press the like button, subscribe, comment below, and share it with your friends.